Public education was one of President-elect Trump's campaign platforms. He touted that eliminating the Department of Education, saying he wants states, not the federal government, to have control over schools. That was one of his main pillars. Part of his plan includes promoting parental rights, ending teacher tenure, expanding universal school choice to include homeschooling, cutting federal funding to schools with DEI programs, and allowing prayer into schools as well. Joining me now, I have Mark Schneider, senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and Michelle Dimino, Director of Education at Third Way. Good morning to both of you. And just to set the stage for everybody here, you're in two different camps on this debate. So, Michelle, let me start with you and just your fears here. What will happen to public school systems if the Department of Education is dismantled, do you think?
Sure. I think it's very concerning to hear President-elect Trump talk about dismantling the Department of Education. We already have a system of education in this country where most authority for public education rests with the state and local governments. So the U.S. Department of Education has a limited but very important role in supplementing those efforts and also in ensuring that fair opportunity exists for students across the country. So that's especially in the role of distributing federal funds for low-income schools, for special education services, and Pell Grants for students to attend college. So the repercussions of dismantling the department would be far-reaching and very alarming.
Mark, I read the op-ed that you penned last month saying if you can't abolish the Department of Education, then at least break it up and redistribute it in some way. Why don't you share the same fears as Michelle?
Well, look, the fact of the matter is that constitutionally most of the authority for education sits with the states and local governments, not with the federal government. And since the 1980 creation of the U.S. Department of Education, the U.S. federal government has intervened and increased its role with regard to education, not to good effect. So we look at the history of the student performance over the years since 1980, and it's not been very good. The cost of education keeps going up. The amount of money that the federal government invests in education or spends on education, because I don't think most of it's not an investment, goes up and up and up, and we don't see the returns on that expenditure. So if we look at, for example, the nation's report card, the National Assessment of Education Progress, flat, 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 flat. And we keep spending more and more money and not getting commensurate returns. So the other thing, of course, is, as I noted in that op-ed, quite frankly, it's unlikely that we will totally disband the U.S. Department of Education. It's too big a lift, and Congress doesn't seem to be much interested in it. But the question is, how do we make the Department of Education more responsive and more responsible? Because it's not doing its job right now.
And I'll get to that in just a second, because Trump has tried this before back in 2018. But Michelle, I first wanted to just play a bit of sound and take a listen to what President-elect Trump has said about the Department of Education while on the campaign trail. And we'll get your take on the other side.
And I'm going to close the Department of Education and move education back to the states. And we're going to do it fast.
Yeah, Michelle, I know right off the top you said, most of the power is, in states' hands already. So what kind of large-scale changes would you even feel from this, you think?
I think it's very interesting. I think it does show some misunderstandings about what the type of role that the federal government plays in education is. And I think really, the role of the federal government has been supplementing state efforts and on the higher education side, helping students from all backgrounds be able to afford a college education, whether that be at a two-year school, a trade school, a four-year college. So I think that we really need to put this in perspective around what the president is saying that he wants to do, which is to be providing more of that oversight to the states, and what's actually happening, which is that states have significant control over the education system. States are the ones that are involved in curriculum development, in determining what goes on in classrooms. And so the federal government really is there in that support role, and especially important in providing funding to help make sure that there's an even playing field for students across the country.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.